Starting. Hello. You have found the Callantyr internal decision meeting for the March letter. Today is March 25th. I am Dorcas Whitecap. I am IS Herald in Callantyr. That's the Submissions Herald. Let's introduce ourselves, and we are having some technical difficulties, so I hope that the YouTube broadcast can record people what they say, because some of the people can't hear each other, but I can hear them, and I'm hosting the meeting, so I think we can just go with it. Let's see. Gawain, your picture is right next to mine. You want to introduce yourself?
Okay, I'm Green Anchor Herald Extraordinary. I don't do much of anything nowadays but comment on half a dozen kingdoms letters.
Okay. Gottfried, do you want to introduce yourself?
Certainly. Gottfried von Schwaben. I am currently Saker Herald for the kingdom, which is the External Submissions Herald.
And Zanita?
Hello, I am Zanita Baseggio. I am currently a herald at large for the Kingdom of Callantyr.
And Brigida?
Hi, everybody. I'm Brigida Goldfalcon, Principal Herald for Callantyr.
Okay. So we are looking at the letter dated February 25th. And Zanita, or not Zanita, Brigida. One of those Ida names. Brigida, if you wanted to maybe mute your mic.
Sorry.
Well, you know. Okay, so we have, let me bring this up. We have 18 decisions to be made tonight. This is a respectable letter, but smaller than some we've had. So, you know what? I'm just going to jump right in. If you're following along on YouTube and you want to post a comment or a question, Zanita is following that. Is there any place else that we need to be tracking? Nope. Okay. Well then, here we go. I'm just going to jump right in. Item number 1, name and device for Ethelwyn at Ulenkumba. Her name to start with. Nobody had a lot to say, so I think I'm just going to note that we're just going to send this one up to Laurel. Now, the device is Argent, an owl rising guardant, wings displayed, and on a chief sable 3 mullets or.
You will have already seen my comments, and that specific thing is that owls are guardant by default.
Okay.
So we've gardened out of the blazon.
All right. So I will note that we're going to reblazon it more simply as Argent, an owl rising, wings displayed, and on a chief sable 3 mullets or, and forward it to Laurel. Okay, moving on. Next item is a device for Andromir Vukovic. Per pale ghouls and azure, a pear tree or within a bordure erminoir.
Well, we've got a double trunk that needs to be blazoned.
I think I'm going to want to talk to him. I'm the consulting herald on this, and he found this image online of an interesting pear tree, and I don't think that the double trunk is significant to him.
I don't see any problem with it. It just needs to be blazoned. Otherwise, it won't be drawn with a double trunk.
Right. So I will ask him if he cares about it. The bigger issue, of course, is that it's got this conflict.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you.
I missed it.
I couldn't remember if we gotten a letter back yet or not.
No, and I've had correspondence with Marta She's in Atenveld, and the Barony of Granite Mountain is in Atenveld.
Right.
And she doesn't think that they're very likely to grant permission to conflict.
Okay.
So in any case, I think I'm going to be talking to him about doing something to the tree, like possibly making the tree Erminois, although that is kind of, or to see if he wants to split it out into 2 trees. Because if he's cool with 2 separate trees side by side, 2 tree trunks, the foliage, mingled, it would be 2 trees, and I think there's no conflicts on that.
Yeah, that would be numbers. Then you'd have to make
Have
sure.
a check. We'll see.
Yep.
Yeah. Gawain, do you think that it's cool to have 2 trees with the branches, the foliage and branches mingled like that?
I don't think it's cool unless you blazon it somehow, and I don't have a clue as to how to blazon it.
I'm actually not sure that it's cool. I want to say there was something, it was years ago.
I would say that probably that would be artistic license if we could do the 2 separate trees.
2 trees intertwined.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good question.
All right.
Can anyone hear me?
I heard you, Zanita.
Okay.
Oh, that's weird. I can't hear Zanita now.
Okay. Okay. We'll muddle through somehow. So,
Anyway, as far as I know, I don't think you can do it. I want to say there was a previous submission years ago that had interlaced branches or interlaced trees, and they said, yeah, no.
okay, so Zanita is not confident that that's even a thing. Okay, so what I think is going to happen with this one is that we're going to return it for conflict with Barony of Granite Mountain, and then we're going to see whatever it is he wants to do, what Andromir wants to do to get this pear tree, or something close to this pear tree.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Okay, I see everybody nodding.
Yes.
And
Okay. Dorcas, PSA.
Gottfried, yes?
Zanita just failed on my. I used to be able to hear her. I can no longer hear her.
Oh, well, she's muted right now.
Well, I know, but when she was explaining about the trees, I did not hear her. So since I'm not going to be looking at the Hangouts, if I'm inadvertently stepping on somebody when they're saying something, just cut me off at the knees. I get it.
Okay, did everybody hear Gottfried?
Yep.
No.
Okay, nodding. Okay. All right, so we'll all just try and... Okay. Oh, boy. Yes, Anita says her internet connection failed and she had to rejoin, so that's why people can't really hear her. Oh, how exciting. Let's get through this before anybody else's internet connection fails. Okay, moving right along. So that was Andromir. Okay, we're going to return it for conflict, and I'm going to take point because I'm the consulting herald anyway. Item number 3, Apollonia von Bremen, name and device. Her name, people didn't really have much to say.
No.
Spot on.
Nobody has anything? Okay, so I'm going to just send the name up. Okay, now the device is Argent, semi of musical notes sable, a fess between 2 dragons passant ghouls. Anything interesting about it?
Looks nice.
Mm-hmm.
Looks nice. Well, all right then. I'm just going to mark that one also forward for a Talora level. Okay. Item number 4, a device for Evelyn O'Byrne. It's a new device. It's a change is what it is. So she wants per chevron throughout, azure and argent, a Hungerford knot per pure, and 2 musical notes argent. And her old item is to be retained as a badge. Anything interesting to say?
The only issue I had previous was the whether it crosses the line between.
I just wish the blazing, but
Primaries.
you can't.
Right. Okay. So Zanita was saying something about whether it crosses what line?
It's primary and secondary charge groups.
Oh,
Oh, that's not a per chevron.
well, it's a per chevron throughout.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. And I think that that is one great big Hungerford knot, and I think those are two normal-sized musical notes. And I mean, I suppose that's a valid concern, whether they blur the line between secondary or co-primary.
Well, if I
They'll
were
either-
running things, I would move that Hungerford knot down a little bit, make it a little smaller, and blow up those notes some.
Well,
But
actually, I think
it's-
she wants the Hungerford knot primary. She wants the notes smaller.
Oh, then she shouldn't call this per chevron. She should call it a pile throughout, or a pile inverted throughout. And then maybe draw it a little narrower.
Really? So Gawain says that if she wants a primary Hungerford knot and two secondary notes, then she should not draw this, or she shouldn't call it per chevron throughout. She should call it a pile throughout inverted.
There's two ways to
Wayne,
do it.
wouldn't that make
Gawain's
the
way.
pile then the primary charge?
Yes.
Yes. So, Zanita, what do you have to say?
There's two ways to do it. You can do it the way that Gawain said to do it,
Okay, what Gawain said.
or it's sinking the notes smaller.
Shrinking the
but
notes.
I think we can just send it up the way it is. The only issue is whether it's going to blur that line and make it it's returned.
And, you know,
It's above our pay grade.
Yeah, above our pay grade, she says.
Mm.
And I tend to agree, and I'll just if they tell us how they want it drawn, then we'll resubmit it with a different drawing. Brigida says what?
Could you contact the client and see what she intended, if she wanted the knot to be primary and the notes to be secondary?
I
Then
could contact the client.
and then we could just add that in the description as it goes out to Laurel, so Laurel has that.
Device
indication.
notes. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so Brigida suggested that I contact the client and make sure that she does want the primary, not the secondary notes. And if we add that into the device notes when we forward it out of Kingdom, then we'll at least have that information there.
Right. And if there's any redraw issues,
Okay.
it's coming in probably after the Wreath decision, or because they're talking about the decision that's at Laurel now
Oh, right.
about the
new
redraw.
policy about redrawing instead of returning.
Exactly.
Well, I think, though, that that's kind of out there in the future, and the timing might be that this might be one of the first things that gets done. I don't know. I don't
Right.
know. I don't
Right.
want to think about that.
Yeah.
It's not my deal.
Yep.
Although I love the idea of the policy, but that's not my deal.
I love the policy too, but I'm not going to bank on it for this.
Right. Okay. So I'm just going to mark this as just send it up. Actually, I'm going to put a comment about contact Evelyn to be sure. Okay, primary not. And then and that's enough of a note. I'll remember what I'm supposed to talk to her about.
Okay.
All right. Let us move along, please. Item number 5, a new name for Eva Picardi.
I got no problems with
It's
it.
fine.
Yeah.
All right. People seem to like it. All right. That will get sent up to Laurel.
Mhm.
Item number 6, a new device for Lorraine Delaney. Her name is like 1 or 2 letters ahead. Her name is almost about to be decided on, I think. But here's her device. We see that Modar did conflict checking and found some things close, but not in conflict.
Yep, it's clear of those.
Okay. Well then, I'm just going to mark that one as, go ahead and send it up. Okay, moving right along. Item number 7, a name and device for Melchior Wolfling von Mecklenburg. And
No conflicts for the name.
Okay, that's quite a mouthful. No conflicts, no issues with the name?
No, because you got a by name and a locative, and that's yep.
Okay. And I mentioned CINA Appendix A supports this pattern, so we're good. Okay, then the device. Azure, a pole cannon or enflamed prupper, and on a chief argent 3 mushrooms per pure.
I had a little problem finding a pole cannon, but that was my problem.
But you did find one.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
I have a little bit on the coloring to see the flamage.
Yes, you said you have some issues seeing the flames. And yeah, I was thinking about that after he turned it in, that maybe I should have asked him to make the flames bigger. But I think if you look at if you look at the big thumbnail,
at most it's probably going to be an artist's note from Reef.
Artist note, that's what I would hope.
Yep, what she said. Okay.
Which you didn't actually hear, but you did hear me repeat what she said.
I can hear her. She can't hear me.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So Melchior's name and device, they are both going to move up to the external letter. All right. Anything else, or shall I move along? All right. Number 8, a new name change for Otomo Yukime. She was Svala Ulfsdottir, and she wants a Japanese persona, so she's going to retain her previous name, but go with Otomo Yukime. Nothing to add? That's cool. All right, I'll mark her as send up to Laurel. Okay, that was number 8. Item number 9, Robin Dunlop, resubmitting his device. His new device is not much different from his previous attempt. Argent, a brown horse rampant, maintaining a leather flask proper, an oral of roses ghouls. Now, his previous device was returned because he had really pretty much the same thing, but he tried to put a yellow apple on the flask. And so he took that off, and this is otherwise very similar to what he had before.
There was no conflicts that we were seeing through either iteration. It was just that...
Right, no new conflicts.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we told him that I can't remember whether we told him that apple might not be kosher or not.
Right, it was a Lily submission too, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah. So
this one looks good.
Yeah, this one looks good. He's willing to make the change. So let's go with it. And as far as the brown, I mean, looking at it on my monitor, it looks brown, and I could pull out the piece of paper and show it to you, and show you that the color. Oh, that's not it. Which letter is it? It's this letter. Yes, here we are. It's this letter. This is Robin. Yeah, it's pretty dark on the paper, but it is obviously the brown Crayola marker, so I think we're good.
Can you see this?
Yeah.
The Oscar's version is definitely blacker than the client's version.
Yes.
So when you have the two of them to compare side by side, it's clearly brown.
Yeah. I don't know. We're just gonna.
It's fine.
Yeah, I think we're gonna call it good.
Yeah.
I think I want to call it good. Okay, so that was item number 9. Let me make sure that note on number 9 is go ahead and forward it to Laurel. Okay. Now, item number 10, a name and device for Terracia de Sousa. And I love the name Terracia and the X pronouncing it like a shush. I love that.
And I found no conflicts on the name.
Excellent. Anybody have anything else to say about the name, or shall I just mark it forward to Laurel?
Looks righteous.
All right, off it goes. Now, the device, Argent, a Phoenix Vert, and a Chief Azure Fretty Argent.
I've got no conflicts. So
As
far.
I posted, I'm not crazy about having the Phoenix and the Flames the same tincture. I don't think that's an automatic bounce.
It's
Right.
not.
Right. I mean, you can obviously see the bird and you can see the flames. So I'm going to call that good and go ahead and forward that. Name and device. Okay, item number 11. A name and device for Thomas Arkwright. And Arkwright, in fact, did I find Thomas Arkwright? Yes, Thomas the Arkwright is right there in Rainey and Wilson.
Oh, great.
All we did was take out the.
Awesome.
I think it's cool.
I do too.
And I like the can't too.
Right, because that's his thing. He makes boxes.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
Is that what an Arkwright does? Is
yes,
make boxes?
specifically makes boxes. Yes, that's what an Arkwright specifically does.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay, then. His device, Argent, on a fess between 2 frame saws and a smith's hammer ghouls, 3 annulets, Argent.
I like this.
All right.
No.
No
Yeah.
problems?
Mhm.
All right, it's going to get marked to send up. Okay, last pair of items. A name and device for Vera Filia Robini. Vera is a Latinized name, and so she went with Filia. And Robini is also Latinized French.
And genitive.
Exactly.
So Robin is also found as a French name, huh? Wow.
Yep. Well, and of course, it's all a variation on Robert.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
I've got no conflicts for it.
All right, no conflicts. Okay, I'll mark that as send up. I have a question about the flower, but let's see what everybody has to say. Or a saltier purpure surmounted by a quatrefoil barbed and seeded ghouls. So
Oh,
I will tell you that
no.
when she drew this flower, she says, "This is the only flower I know how to draw."
Wasn't there just
I
a
want to
thing
see
that,
at least as much internal detailing as in the black and white.
Okay. Sanita,
Version.
what were you going to say?
wasn't there recently a thing that quatrefoils all had to be round?
Quatrefoils had to be round?
Wasn't there? I will go looking for that now that it was just recently on a cover letter.
Recently on a cover letter, something about quatrefoils. So you think maybe this quatrefoil with the extra barbs,
Well, it has nothing to do with the extra bars. It's the point.
the petals are pointy rather than rounded. Well, okay, what other name do you call a generic 4-petaled flower besides quatrefoil?
I don't know. That's why I'm trying to remember what it said in the letter.
Right. So do you think you can take a minute and track that? Okay, so Zenita's going to try and track that down. I suppose, yeah, I'm not sure what to do about the internal detailing. I could see if she would be willing to recolor it, or willing to have me recolor it with, say, the the leave a little bit of white next to the lines, because yes, the actual forms, yeah, it's kind of hard to see the internal detailing.
Yeah. Well, you don't want her having to redraw that if we decide that we can't call it a quadrifoil.
Yeah, I will say that I don't think she is particularly invested in this flower over. She just said, "This is the only flower I know how to draw." And then I proceeded to give her grief because her mother is a CNI Laurel, and her father can draw too. I've seen him. So
In any case, I didn't find any conflicts.
all right, no conflicts. So, yeah, Godfrey, do you have anything to offer?
I'm just thinking about that. I was kind of looking for quatrefoil, but no, never mind. I caught it. It is barbed and seeded. It just happens to be all the same color.
Right.
Yep.
Well, so one of the things that I could probably do in a graphics program is do the internal detailing in white, and then contact her and see. Oh, let's see. She's not the one that comes to fighter practice. She works. Oh, well, I'll send her an email. I'll do. I'll modify to make the internal detailing either solid black, or I think yeah, not white. I think black.
Just a thin black line, yeah. That's
right.
all you need.
Right. So I could do that, and then I could send it to her and get her approval on the fix.
Yep.
And then we have to figure out what to call it.
Well.
Okay, so I think what I was thinking of was a trillium, so it's the 3-leaf one.
Okay, Zanita thinks it was the trillium, not the quatrefoil.
Yeah.
So it's above our pay grade. I would go ahead and just send it up.
I looked at Picnic, and all the foils in the Picnic have rounded petals, for what that's worth.
Well,
let it go up. Let it go up.
All right. So shall I modify the internal detailing and get her approval, of course?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Internal detailing.
Yeah.
Get approval. Send up.
And I'm looking at a 5/6.
And maybe somebody up on the next level will have a better blazon for it.
Okay. Gottfried, what were you saying?
I'm looking at probably a 5/6 suspense date for publication of the external. So we got time.
Publishing the external letter on May the 6th.
Or April.
April
6th.
April the 6th.
I've got, when I said 5/6, I meant
6/5.
Fifth or 6th.
5th or the 6th. Okay.
Correct.
All right. Excuse me. All right, fine. Okay, so it looks like we have gotten through this, and I'm going to just read back the notes, and I can hear all of you, so if you need to stop me, go ahead. But, all right, so reading what we have. Item number 1, the name. We're going to send it up. Item number 1, the device we will reblazon as Argent and Owl Rising wings displayed, and on a Chief Sable 3 mullets ore, and send it up. Number 2D, we're going to have to return that for conflict with the Barony of Granite Mountain, but then I will contact Andromir. Okay. Writing that down. Then item number 3, the name. send it up, and also the device for number 3, send that up. Item number 4, the device. I'm going to contact Evelyn to be sure that she wants a primary knot, and if she needs to redraw it, if she wants co-primaries, then it probably will have to be withdrawn. Is that what people are thinking? Or redrawn if she wants them as co-primaries.
Right.
All right, and then send it up and hope for the best. If she wants a primary knot and secondary notes. Item number 5, the name, send that up. 6, the device, send that up. Number 7, both name and device, send them up. Number 8, the name, send it up. Number 9, the device, send that up to Laurel. Number 10, the name and device, send them both on up. Number 11, the name and device, send them both up. Number 12, the name, we're going to send that up. And the device, I'm going to bolden the internal detailing and get approval from Vera and send it up.
Sounds good.
All right, we had this lovely short letter tonight. Okay, so I want to point out that the next decision meeting will be Monday, April 22nd. And that's all I have. Anybody have anything to add? Brigitte?
I have 2 things.
I can hear you just fine.
Okay, first off, I want to put a plug in for the Spring Herald's Retreat, which is a week from this weekend, so less than 2 weeks away. The first weekend in April, up in Mason City, Herald's Hill. I just posted the link in the Heralds of Callantyr Facebook group. I will go out to the usual places and post it via email as well.
Okay.
That's the first thing.
Can everybody hear her? She put in a plug for the Herald's Retreat, which is in less than 2 weeks up in Mason City. It's at Sophia's. All right, now Gottfried is nodding.
Yes, I got that.
Not sure if I'll make it or not. I hope so.
Oh, I'd love to see you.
Okay, then the other thing is we're going to be having a change in office. Dorcas, do you want to go ahead and announce that?
Yes. The next letter, which will be published at the end of April, will be my last letter as IAS. Zanita has agreed to take on the IAS office. So the next internal decision meeting I will be running, but the decision meeting after that will be near the end of May, and that will be Zanita's show, unless she decides that Gottfried ought to run it. But Zanita and I sat at Bobbin and Weavin this past weekend, and I showed her how I did things, and she very politely didn't, laugh in my face. And,
or run away screaming.
Zanita, you're frozen. Zanita's face has a very thoughtful face, and there she went.
And there she left.
Yep. So she says, "Oh, fun, internet dropped, have a good night." So, all right, but she knows that she's going to be the next IAS, so this is no surprise to her. There she is. Is she back?
Yes.
I am, amazingly.
She's back. So, yes, I said that you were going to be the next IAS, and you didn't run away screaming, so.
Many congratulations.
Thank you.
And
I know she'll do a great job.
I know she will too. I believe that I am going to slide on over into the archivist position.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. No.
So, well, okay. So that is it for tonight's meeting. Thank you all for joining. And I'm going to stop broadcasting, but if people want to hang out another minute or two and farble, that's cool, if they can hear each other. So I'm going to click the little button. Bye.
Before you cut off.
Yes, Wayne.
I have a question. This is always the way. my picture on my screen, the little inset picture, is wider than anybody else's.
Only
Is
when
that
you're
because I have a wide screen, or is it just because I'm the one that's
Yeah, no,
on it?
my picture is wider than everybody else's too.
Yep.
So that's
Yep.
Okay.
just a Google Hangout thing.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and click this stop broadcast.